Hi and welcome to Healthy Life Hacks. I'm Jennifer Jefferies, the present day wise woman. I'm a realistic naturopath coming to you from the surfing beaches of Australia. This show is for those of you who are wanting to really rock your life and rock your health and just live from a place of prevention, not waiting to get sick and tired and sucky. That's it. So let's get into today's episode. Einstein had a theory that human beings are a complex network of energy fields interfaced with physical body systems. He eventually proved to scientists that energy and matter are dual expressions of the same universal substance. The universal substance is the vibration from what we're composed. If the vibrations of our physical and emotional energies are balanced, we experience good health. And if they're not, well, I'm sure that you know how that feels. Me, I grew up a snotty kid. That's how I knew my energy fields weren't balanced. I always had hay fever or science, and everyone really believed that I was allergic to dogs and cats and pollens and trees and just so many things in life. I was always snotty. You know, if we'd go visiting someone and they had a cat, I would have more snot than anyone even thought was humanly possible. I'd have the itchy eyes, everything going on. And then it would usually start, kind of stay and last for about 3 days. It drove me nuts. When I was 17, I joined the Australian Army, and there you're not allowed to be sick. So their answer was to operate. And I had my turbinates reduced. Now, for those of you who are going, what are your turbinates, Jen? Well, they're like your lower sinuses. And it's an operation where they scrape out the lower sinuses to open your airways. And for me, it just made a bigger area to collect snot. This continued with me believing that I was allergic to cats and pollens and everything for so many years. And I used so many nasal sprays to try and help that I burned all the hairs out of my nose. And then that just made it hurt me to breathe all the time because my air wasn't being warmed and filtered like it's meant to be. So fast track to when I burned out and started to study naturopathy, I learned that emotions influenced our health, and I started to map. I'd mapped it out. I'd noticed when I was getting my hay fever and sinus, what had just been happening and what was coming up and things like that. And I just started to map it. And I found there was a pattern. In the book, Love Your Disease, It's Keeping You Healthy, Dr. John Harrison illustrated the reason that people get ill when he said, people get ill to get what they want, like caring and nurturing stuff. And people do not get what they want, so they become ill. Just think about it for a moment. When did you get the most care when you were a child? When you were ill or injured? It's real. So I went, wow, okay. So in mapping my hay fever, I understood that there were 2 times that I had full-on symptoms. The first was when something had just happened and it didn't go the way I expected. And the second one was when there was like something coming up that I didn't want to do. Like someone would ring and say, hey, Jen, do you want to come here? And I'd go, nah, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll come. And inside I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to go. And what would happen is by me internalizing that stress, I would manifest all the snot in the world to be able to ring up and go, oh, I can't come, I'm sick. And I'm going to explain to you how all of that works. It's real. And working with my patients in my naturopathic clinic over the years, I really grew to understand that we're emotional beings. We just are. And we all have emotions behind our physical ailments. So let me explain this. The best way I have found to explain this lack of control in our life is with the triangle of health. It's like the theory behind naturopathic medicine. So if you think of your health like a triangle, if you're able to keep the 3 points of the triangle in a positive state, you experience a wonderful sense of well-being. You're well. And if the 3 points of the triangle drift into the negative, you experience physical ailments. So let's get into it. The first point of the triangle is our attitudes and beliefs. Now, this is the stuff that we got from our families, our environment and everything growing up. We've ingested all this stuff subconsciously over the years, And it's created our attitudes and our belief systems. These attitudes and beliefs, they just hang around us all the time, subconsciously waiting to be used. So for instance, if your mother might have said to you, like my mum did, don't go out in the cold weather without a singlet on, you'll catch a cold. And statements like these were projected onto us in our childhood and adult years. They still do, guys. Not just from our parents, but from so many other people of significance or our environment. And we took this material on consciously and subconsciously. And now it's stored in the back of our memory banks, waiting to be used. It truly is. So that's the first one. The first point of the triangle is your attitudes and beliefs. The second point of the triangle is our emotional state. Have you ever heard people say that they caught a cold or a flu just when they didn't have time for it? Or that they always catch 2 colds a year, not 3, not 1, 2. And they go, yep, I always catch 2 a year when they get the second. It's crazy. Or they'll say things like, everyone at work is sick, I bet I catch it too. It's almost as if they're subconsciously setting themselves up for it. And I know they don't really want to catch the cold, but on some subconscious level, there's a need for attention that like sick people, receive. And remember, I mentioned at the time that most of us got the extra attention as children was when we were sick or injured. Now, our self-talk can be reflecting on how we emotionally feel about life, and our bodies, they listen to it. Our bodies physically listen to our emotions. And we're more susceptible to catching ailments when we're running negative stress and using negative self-talk. Personally, I think stress is actually a catchword for life, and we choose to react to respond to what's happening in life. That's what stress is. And again, if we call the experience negative or positive, that influences how it feels in our body. So stress is what keeps us alive. Stress is actually good for us when it's in balance and when we have our head around it. And positive stress it doesn't have to have a negative impact on our bodies. But negative stress does have a negative impact on our bodies. The body itself has no power to generate illness. It's really interesting. Illness is merely the shadow thrown by the mind. And a healthy mind will show forth a healthy body. An unhealthy mind will show forth an unhealthy body. And every new cell created in our body is either negative or in positive form. And in the old days, it was customary to say that cells were built under the influence of either negative or positive thought. And in reality, the cells are the thought itself. Healthy thoughts mean healthy cells. Sick thoughts mean sick cells. I could nearly sing that. I like to have fun, guys, just so you know. I teach heavy stuff sometimes, but I still love to have fun. In the really well-known story of Norman Cousins, he's the guy who wrote the book Anatomy of an Illness. Just the most inspiring read. He was the guy who laughed himself well in 1964. And it shows that simply by changing your mindset and your attitude or emotions towards an illness, even the nastiest ailments, the body has an ability to heal. And in fact, Hippocrates was a guy who said, given the right place and time, the body can heal anything. Interesting. So if you ever get to see a copy of Anatomy of an Illness by Norman Cousins, read it. It's one of my all-time favorite books. So we've got our attitudes and beliefs. We have the emotions. Now, the third point of the triangle is the physical. So this is the physical or circumstance. So like a situation at work or something could be, runs as that physical as well. So this is the event or thing that collided with you. So imagine it is that not wearing a singlet like your mother told you to do on a cold day. The circumstance or physical is the cold weather. That's it. Now, you could be out playing golf if that's what you like doing, or I love going surfing, whatever is your thing. And it could be cold and rainy and miserable and you're not dressed warm, but you're having such a cool, fun time. Everything's positive. You're just having a ball. You won't catch a cold. But then imagine you're on the way home from work. You've had a tough day at work. The car breaks down. It's cold. It's wet. It's dark. And you just think, why does this always happen to me? You've got so much negative stress running in your mind. Guaranteed, this is the time you will catch a cold, when all of the points of the triangle come into a negative state and you manifest the symptom. Now, with the triangle, consider what patterns or incidents you may be setting yourself up for without actually thinking about it. When you're struck down with an ailment, think about what's coming up or what's just happened that could have caused enough stress to manifest or exacerbate the ailment. The bottom line is that we're all responsible for our own health. Yep. We've all had some pretty interesting things happen in our health over the years too. Absolutely. But the past is the past. We're living in the present. So many people live their future out of their past. I saw that endlessly in clinic. You know, one of my favorite sayings in life is by Tony Robbins, and he says, nothing from your past has to influence your future unless you let it. And I really agree. We get to decide today to work on balancing those points of our triangle to regain our personal power and an excellent state of good health. That's where we're meant to be. We're meant to be strong, fit, and healthy and thriving in life. But we let external influences affect our health. Everything in life is simply how we look at it. You know, we can choose to consciously turn anything around from a negative to a positive. And yes, sometimes it takes big brain space, guys. I get it. I really get it. We've all had some crap in our life. But imagine you started your life from today. If we refuse to listen to our bodies and keep pushing them and getting stuck in that negative groove, our bodies will stop us. That's it. We'll get an ailment of some kind, and the ailment has manifested to stop us and make us listen. The secret is to listen to our bodies as we move forward in life and make corrections to those imbalances early in the piece before they start turning into a physical ailment. Now, we all hold our stress somewhere in our bodies. Some people, it manifests as headaches or migraines or back pains or upset tummies, worry belly, tight neck and shoulders, or skin conditions. Me, it's not. It is. I get hay fever and sinus and more snot than you've ever seen. And I can't hide it. If I'm out of balance, it's in my face, literally. You see, it really interesting is that I was never allergic to cats or wattle trees or any of those things in life. And in fact, my pussycat Harley is laying next to me right now. I was allergic to not having life flow the way that I wanted it to on my timelines. That's it. So I have a very hairy cat named Harley, and she's gorgeous. And I've had lots of cats over the last 30 odd years. The difference is today, if I get snotty, I ask myself, what's been happening or what's coming up that I'm not keen on looking into or not doing, that it's just like, if it's one of those kind of things. Now, if I'm able to identify it and break that point of the triangle by changing my thought pattern around it, well, then I break, there's not three negatives, and I can stop something in its tracks. That's it. Now, absolutely, there's all the physical side as well. You still need to treat that the way you would normally treat it. And I promise I'll speak into all things snotty and respiratory ailments in future episodes. But for now, contemplate this concept, as I know how it changed my life the last 30 years. So this episode's healthy life hack is, think about where you hold your stress. Is it your nose? Is it your back, your neck and shoulders, headaches, skin? Where is it? Or are you a snothead like me? The next time it shows itself, ask yourself, what is this stopping me from doing? What's just happened? What's coming up? I promise the answer will be there if you ask yourself it. Just contemplate it. You can still treat it physically, and you need to do that, whatever is your system for treating it. And through these episodes, I'm going to teach you so many ways to treat different imbalances with natural health. That's it. We'll do all that. So you still need to treat the physical, but if we can change our perception to what's happening, and you come back into balance sooner, that's it. And you are actually in control of your life. We just have to remember that we're emotional beings as well, not just physical. So if you want a copy of my show notes for this episode, guys, head to my website, jenniferjefferies.com/triangle of health. I want to thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it with your friends and scroll down to the comment section, guys. It's below the description of the video, because click into the line that says add a public comment, add your comment, click the comment box, and every month I draw one lucky person who leaves a comment down below to have a free 1-hour consultation with me. Also, be sure to subscribe to the show and like it so that you're always catching that next episode. If you'd like to receive a free copy of my Feed Your Body ebook, simply click the link in the comments below, join my newsletter, and you will get the free ebook sent to you nice and easy. So I welcome your emails. You can write to me at podcast@healthylifehacks.com.au. Until next time, guys, remember that when it comes to life, live it, love it, and get on with it.